friends, welcome to CNS Viewpoint. And today again we are back something which made us think. World Health Organization had revealed in its briefing in early November 2021 that over 7 billion vaccine doses have been administered. That made me think that there are about more than 7 million, 7.5 or 7.8 billion people on the planet. The World Health Organization said that if we have enough vaccine doses, we have administered enough vaccine doses, more than 7 billion vaccine doses in the world. But if we had done it equitably, we have not done it equitably. We have majority of these vaccine doses have been administered in rich nations. More than 1 million booster doses are administered every single day. Only 330,000 people get their first jab in low-income countries every day. 1/3 of the booster doses which are being given. WHO has been repeatedly saying that the booster doses should not be given till end of this year. And so the WHO is saying that if equitably we had used these vaccine doses of more than 7 billion with a B vaccine doses, then by now we would have already vaccinated 40% of the world's population. As you know, WHO has appealed to the governments. Governments are committed to vaccinate population of every country 10% by at least 10% by September 2021. 40%, at least 40% of the population by December 2021, and at least 70% of the population by June 2022. But if you look at rich nations, if you look at North American nations, US, Canada, etc., if you look at the whole of European region, whole of Europe, if you look at nations such as Singapore, which is the first country in the world to fully vaccinate more than 80% of its population by July 2021, if I remember correctly. If you look at other, so many nations, rich and resourceful nations around the world, they have already vaccinated more than 50, 60, 70, 80% of their population. UK, etc. And they are now rolling out over 1 million booster doses every day. And the reality is that in low-income countries, only 330 million doses are being administered every day to the first people who get their jabs. Similarly, there are more people who get booster doses in England than those who get their first vaccine shot in the whole of African region. So you can imagine the inequity and stuff. So if we have not used the vaccine doses, but if we had used vaccine doses equitably, with rational, with scientific reason, with scientific mandate, then by now we would have already vaccinated 40% of the population. It is important to understand that if we do not vaccinate everyone worldwide, at least 70% of the population worldwide, then we are risking, if the transmission is happening, if the virus is circulating in the population, then the problem is that that virus will keep on mutating. That's a natural course of evolution. It may become more problematic, it may not, but it may. If it is also possible, we are also risking that these vaccines may become less effective or ineffective. We will also be dealing with long COVID problems. People who develop COVID, recover from it, survive, but then they will be dealing with long COVID challenges related to health, which we are still figuring out and learning a lot as long COVID is manifesting and more evidence and data is emerging. So there is so much of issue, as well as we will be dealing with lot more hospitalization, lot more ventilator needs, lot more oxygen needs, lot more deaths in populations where the vaccination rates are low. So it is really important to ensure that significant number of the people, all those eligible for vaccination are fully vaccinated as soon as possible. all around the world, in rich and poor nations alike, so that we can, herd immunity, the hope that herd immunity will kick in and we will be able to make COVID history, or at least make it an endemic disease. If that sounds too unlikely to happen, then at least make it an endemic manageable disease which does not cause mortality or serious illness, etc. And we are able to save lives everywhere in the world, and we are not risking such kind of a public health emergency. So, and more importantly, if we fail to learn the lessons of equity, lessons of justice, lessons of a fairer world, these are the more important reminders, grim reminders of the COVID-19 pandemic. And if we fail to learn it, we will probably be repeating these problems again, and risk getting into even serious kind of problems and challenges and lockdowns and stuff. Friends, Dr. Swaminathan, she is a top scientist, chief scientist of World Health Organization, WHO. She said tweeted that the statistic that now more than 5 million people have died because of COVID-19 is a very serious, is a grim statistic. That is what she said. And she said that WHO estimates the real number of deaths closer to 15 million, not 5 million only, but at least 3 times more, 15 million. And there are some estimates which are even higher. And she also wrote that each person was a loved one. And there are 1.5 million children who have lost a parent or a caregiver to COVID-19. This is so heartrending, and it continues. So let us hope more reason and more science, more reason, more justice, more equity it prevails in our response to COVID and other goals and indicators of sustainable development. We are really able to ensure sustainable development, as not only just the vaccination but everything for all of us on the planet, as well as take care of the planet, of course, and with a lot of hope for a better and fairer world. Let me conclude today's CNS Viewpoint. Tomorrow again at 5 p.m. we'll be back with our views and thoughts and perspectives on something which made us think. Bye till then.